Hi everyone, in this video we are going to solve a problem. The name is minimum number of arrow to burst a balloon. This is a medium level problem and the question number is 452. So now guys, let's quickly see what does this problem say. There are some spherical balloon tapped onto a flat wall that represent the xy plane. Okay, let me represent this. So I have a plane that is xy plane, this is y and this is x. Fine. After that, the balloon are represented as a 2D integer array points where points of I is equal to x of start and x of end. So we will have some balloon and let's say this is a starting point, this is ending point horizontally, this is a diameter total. So let me remove now diameter. And next what we have denotes a balloon whose horizontal diameter stretch between the x starts and x end. We have already discussed we will have a diameter and this is a starting point, this is an ending point. Okay, you don't know the exactly y coordinate. Okay, so are not given with the y coordinate, but we are given with the x coordinate, the starting point and the ending point of horizontal diameter. Fine. Arrow can shoot up directly vertically in the positive y direction. That means we can shoot arrow from this particular direction vertically from the different point along the x-axis. A balloon with x start and x end is burst by an arrow shot at x if x start is less than equal to x and less than equal to x end. So let me tell you, we can shoot this arrow from any position from 0 to x, but we have to throw in this particular direction. That is clear, right? So let me now remove this all arrow. Now we have this condition x start must be less than equal to x and x end should also greater than or equal to x. That means let's say this is x start and this is x end. Fine. And if we throw an arrow, that should be in between in this of diameter. It should be in lie in between of this. That is clear. Then only this balloon can burst. Alright. There's no limit the number of an arrow. That means we can throw infinitely arrow. A shoot arrow keep traveling infinitely bursting any value in its path. So that same thing means we can throw n number of arrows in any position from 0 to x. Alright. Given the array points, return the minimum number of arrows that must be shot to burst all the balloon. That means now we have to return the minimum number of arrows we need to shoot so that all the balloon can burst. So how we can solve this? First of all, let's see the example, then try to understand this problem. I know many of you didn't understood. We have this example 10, 16, 2, 8, 1, 6, 7, 12. So we are given some diameter of a balloon. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to say here, I'm going to draw here, fine. And I know that there is a 0 and the maximum value you can see guys, the maximum value is 16. So I am going to say 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14 and 16. Fine. Now guys, what I'm going to do, let me take first a new color. Okay, so I have one direction that is 10 to 16, that is one diameter belong from 10 to 16. Fine. And another diameter 2 to 8, so let me write 2 to 8. Fine. And another one is guys 1 to 6, so let me one will point like somewhere here and 1 to 6. Fine. And another one is 7 to 12, so 7 to 12, let me take it upper one, 7 to 12. I believe guys you know this much how I did this. So just I took a xy plane and where I just draw the diameter of every balloon. Now guys I can shoot an arrow. You can see guys the two balloon, the first is this and the second one is this, are overlapping on somewhere on x. You can see at 4 we can shoot an arrow which will burst both balloon. So let me remove this. We can either shoot from 2, 3, 4, 5 or 6. By shooting an arrow from this particular position we can burst this two balloon, right? So let's say I throw from 4 and I burst both the balloon. So I took just one arrow to burst this two balloon. Fine. And we are left with two balloon. And you can see guys here we can shoot an arrow from 11, from 12 and 10, because on these three position we can say that these two balloons are overlapping to each other. In reality they are on a wall, so they will not overlap. If we see from this x-axis we can see that they are overlapping to each other. So we can say by this or by this or by this we can burst these two balloon by just one arrow. So we can say guys we need just one arrow to burst these two balloon as well. So what we can say, we need just two arrow to burst this four balloon. So the result will be 2. I hope guys you understood this. How does this 2 come? So we have seen by using a visualization. Now guys, let's quickly see the another example. And we will try to solve without a visualization. So let's quickly see. So we have this example 1 to 2, 3 to 4, 5 to 6, 7 to 8. So guys, you can see that 1 to 2 and 2 to 3, they are not overlapping to each other. This is starting from a new position and here 4 to 5 again and here 6 to 7 again starting from new position. None of the array is overlapping to each other. So we can say we need 4 different arrows to burst 4 value. So the result will be 4. And here guys you can see that in new example 1 to 2, 2 to 3, which these two are overlapping to each other. So we can say we need just one arrow to burst this value. But let's see whether next balloon also overlapping to these two value. So next balloon we have 3 starting from 3. So you can see that this is overlapping to this one, but this is not overlapping to this one. So either we can take one balloon. Let me remove all this. It making a confusion. So either we can take this two or either we can take this one, isn't it? So we are taking just this one first one. So I took just one arrow to bust this two value. Okay. The next one you can see 4 and 5 also overlapping. So we just need one arrow more to bust this two value as well. Two arrow to bust this all four value. So answer is 2. I hope guys you understood this. Now this much is enough for you to understand the problem. It's time to see the logic how we can solve this particular problem. So now guys I'm going to take the same example 10 to 16. Okay. And here 2 to 8. Fine. And 1 to 6. And 7 to 12. Fine. So we have this array and these are nothing but a diameter we all know. So now guys we can understand the logic by this visualization only. You can see guys first we draw this one. We draw the 1 6. You can see first we need to draw this one. Then we are seeing that just tell the next one which may be overlap. So that will nothing but this 2 to 8. So we need next this one. Then we can say that tell me the next one which can overlap. So there may be chance that this one can be overlap. So that this one is nothing but 7 to 12. Then there may be a chance that this one can be overlapped with the other one which is 10 to 16. So here guys you can see that we need the array which must be in sorted order. Then only we can see which particular value can be overlap. Here you can see that if I am taking this one again 1 to 6 which is in this visualization, and after that I take 10 to 16, then I will miss some value which may be overlap with 1 or which may be overlap with 10 to 16. So that is sure that we can't start from this 10 to 16. We have to start from the minimum one. So how we can reach to the minimum one? We need to sort it. Alright. So this is a greedy problem. We need to sort it. So for sorting, I'm going to say sort this particular array on the basis of the starting index. So I can sort it by writing dot sort function, and here I can pass my comparator. If you're using a C++, you can pass your comparator. Java and also you can pass. And in Python, we can just write sort function, which will automatically sort on the basis of zero index. So now guys, we are left with one more logic that is nothing but a starting and ending index. So let's see that. So I'm going to take again this with a new color. So now guys, I'm going to write my array in a sorted order. So I will say 1, 6 and 2, 8 and 7, 12 and 10, 16. You can see my array is sorted order by the first index 1, 2, 7 and 10. If you don't know this is 2, let me write here 2. Alright. So now guys, what I'm going to take, I'm going to take two variables. The first variable will be previous starting and the next variable will be previous ending. The previous starting will take the starting value first value. So here you can see in the first we have 1, 6. The first starting value is 1. So I'm going to take previous starting is equal to 1. And previous ending will be the ending value of the first value. That is 6. Fine. And here guys, what I'm going to say, I'm going to traverse this particular array from the first index. Means first value we have already taken, but we are going to traverse with the second index value. Okay. So we are at here. And in this position, we have a starting value 2 and ending value 8, right? Now we are going to take two more variable, current starting and current ending. Fine. So current starting will take the maximum value from this particular starting and the previous starting. So previous starting we had 1 and this starting value have 2. So the maximum value will be 2. Fine. And current ending will take minimum value from this ending and the previous ending. That is 6 and 8. The minimum value is 6. Fine. Now guys, you can see we have these two value, current starting and current ending. Now we have to check one thing, whether this current starting is less than or equal to current ending. Yes, it is. That means this particular value can easily overlap with this particular value. So we are very much clear that if the current starting will less than current ending, that means this value will overlap to this previous value or previous group of value. So if it is so, then we will move to the next iteration. But before that, we have to update our previous starting and previous ending. So we are going to say now previous starting is nothing but current starting. So we'll say now previous starting value is 2 and the current starting value is 6. So that is already right. So now is what we are going to do. We are going to move to the next iteration. And next iteration, we can see that we have a value starting 7 and ending 12. Okay. So now current starting will take the maximum value. So 7 or previous starting is 2. So 2 and 7, the maximum value is 7. So let me write here 7. And current ending will take the minimum value, that is 12 or 6. So which one is minimum? 6. So we are going to take 6 only. Fine. So we can see that here current starting is not less than or equal to current ending. That means this value is not overlapping with our other group of values. So we can easily say that this should be shoot by another arrow, right? So we'll here once this condition is not matching, that means current starting is not equal to less than or current ending. Then we can say that means let me write here greater than. So if it is greater than, then we can say our count means the number of arrows should be incremented by 1. So what we can do now guys, we have incremented the count. Once we incremented the count, we will update the previous starting and previous ending by the value of this particular value 7 and 12. So we can say 7 and 12. We are not updating by this current starting and current ending value. We are updating with this value. Fine. Now we are going to move to the next iteration 10 to 16 here. Now we are going to say this current starting will take a maximum value from this starting or the previous starting. So 7 and 10, the maximum value is 10. So current starting will be 10. Fine. And the current ending will take a minimum value from this particular ending or the previous ending. That is 12. So let me write here 12. And here you can see that current starting is less than current ending. That means it can overlap with the last value. Fine. So Now we can move to the next iteration because it is overlapping. So but if we move to the next iteration, we can see that our array is completed. All right. So now guys, did you notice that we haven't added the arrow or counter for this particular group? So for that, we can say that guys, once we completed the loop, we have to add one more value, means count plus equal to 1, or we can say arrow plus equal to 1, which will tell us that we have taken one more arrow to shoot the last particular group. So that is the logic guys. We are going to keep traversing this array. Just we have to traverse this and we have to see this condition. Current starting should be less than equal to current ending. If it is not, then we have to increment the count, or we can say increment the arrow. And once the loop over, then also one time we have to increment the arrow. So now guys, let's quickly see the code and see how we can implement this particular logic. So here guys, first of all, I told you we have to sort this. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to say points dot sort, which will automatically sort our list, or we can say here array, on the basis of 0 indexes. Alright, once it's sorted, what we are going to do, we are going to traverse it. But before that, we have to take two variables, that is previous starting, which will be initially points of 0. So I'm going to say points of 0 means at 0 of 0, which means guys, we have to take the start value of the first diameter. And here again, I'm going to take end, previous end, which will be points. Let me write a points, and here 0 of 1, that means the end value of the first diameter. Once we have taken this, we are going to traverse this particular array. So we'll say for, in Python we can just write starting and ending value, and we can say in our points. And here guys, I'm not starting from the first index, I'm going to start from 0 index only, because it will not gonna affect as well. Previous starting and previous ending will remain same. So we are going to traverse complete array from the 0 index only. You can traverse from first index as well, it will not gonna affect. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to add our current array. So I will say current starting is going to be equal to the maximum value from the starting and the previous starting. We have already discussed, right? After that, we are going to say current ending is going to be equal to minimum value from the ending comma previous ending. Fine. Now we have to check one condition, that is if current starting is less than or equal to current ending, that means it is fine. But if it is not the case, if current starting is greater than current ending, then we can say guys, increment our count plus equal to 1 or arrow plus equal to 1. So I'm going to say arrow plus equal to 1, and I have to define this arrow as well. So I'm going to say above arrow is initially will be 0. Fine, let me write a 0. Okay, now guys, when our condition will not match, so we will say update our previous starting is equal to the starting value, and previous ending also is equal to the ending value. But if condition is matching, means our value is overlapping to the other group of values. So what we can do, we can say easily that previous ending, so let me write here else part, and previous starting is going to be equal to current starting, and previous ending also going to equal to current ending. Fine, I hope this much is clear to you. Now once we completed this loop, we have seen that we have to add one more arrow to shoot the last group of balloon. So we are going to say arrow is going to be plus equal to 1. So now let's return this arrow, return arrow, and let's quickly run this code, see whether it is working fine or not. You can see guys, all the test cases are passed. Now let's try to submit this code. So you guys can see that it's successfully accepted. So that's all in this video. I hope you understood the logic. If you learned something new in this video, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe my channel. Meet you in the next video.